Home sweet home after 3 long road treks brings relief for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. But that same positivity immediately evaporates when you see the table-topping Lou City opposite of you. 2 historical powerhouses in the East collide once again here at Highmark Stadium. Welcome one and all for the show here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. My name is Mark Schoenster. I'm joined by Eric Dobransky. Lou City trying to stave off Charleston Battery, the 2 teams who have clinched a playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds right in the meat of the playoff race.
Yeah, both these teams find themselves in different battles within the East. Lou City seeking their 2nd straight Players' Shield. Pittsburgh vying for that top 4 finish. Important 7-match stretch for both these sides.
That's for certain. Pittsburgh Riverhounds back at home after being on the road for a good while. This is where they've been successful.
4 of their last 7 matches are here at Highmark, but it is a group that needs to go on the road and pick up 2 big Eastern Conference matchups, one at Hartford, one at Miami. This is a team that is 69-19 and 37 at home with Bob Lilly at the helm, which is the 5th most wins and the fewest losses amongst clubs with at least 100 games under one manager. So tonight is all about reversing a trend from Lou City from 11 games unbeaten here at Highmark.
Reversing a bad trend and trying to start another one. Augie Williams starting to get the ball rolling. He is our player to watch, presented by Modelo.
He continues to find his form for the Riverhounds. He is naturally going to command a lot of attention in the attacking third. But what is also coming together at the right time is what that movement and attention is allowing for others and the space it's opening up for teammates.
So, 2 goals last game, a player of the week mention. Then we turn over to Lou City. It doesn't matter what configuration they come out with. All they've done this year is win games.
Yeah, Mark, we all wondered on the outside how this team would follow up their historic Player Shield winning 2024 season. And they have done it with fine-tuning the defensive side. This is a team that is a problem. They continue to set the pace of the league. When you have this collective buy-in to carry a dominant identity in both boxes, it provides your team the resiliency needed to get results regardless of what kind of game it becomes.
These last 3 games, they've been without their starting goalkeeper. And guess who's back? Damian Loss slots in between the sticks. But defensively, it's been seamless without him.
And it's the quality that comes with the communication and the collaboration he has with the players in front of him. The best save to make is the one you don't have to. This is a team that protects the goal extremely well, but Damian Loss accompanies that big save mentality and the game-changing save along with his play.
You mentioned it earlier, Eric. This Louisville machine loves playing in Pittsburgh. They have not lost in this building at Highmark Stadium. Will that continue, or will the Riverhounds turn some heads across the league with a statement win tonight? Find out after this break on the Golazo Network. We'll see you for kickoff.
Ain't no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. Well, that's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
Back to school means back to savings. At Best Window and Door Company, we're kicking off the season with smart choices that pay off fast. Save up to 50% on energy-efficient windows and doors, plus 0% financing for up to 84 months. That's right, up to 50% off with financing to keep your budget cool. Upgrade now before cold weather and high heating bills return. Make this school year smarter with savings that do their homework. Schedule now, offer ends soon. Call 1-800-292-5594. Visit mybestwindow.com.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This is an exciting day for the South Shore. Please welcome the owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Tuffy Schellenberger.
Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. I'd like to bring the players up here to unveil the renderings of the new stadium. And you know, you have to win in Pittsburgh. I don't care what you do. We're not going to quit till we win the championship, and then we're not going to quit after that.
USL on on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Here are your Icy Light starting lineups. Icy Light brewed for victory. Just one personnel swap for Bob Lilly from last game.
Yeah, we highlighted Augie Williams in the open, but it's his strike partner, Bertan Jacqueson. That vertical threat will be highly influential. With that verticality, you hope to expose some space in behind or stretch that back line and create space below for the midfield.
Meanwhile, on the Lou City side of things, we're rolling back the calendar a little bit, Eric.
It is so interesting to see club legends spearheading this Lou City side, McCabe, Lancaster, Ownby. As this game settles in, let's see how this sets up tactically. But the first time since July 25th, 2020, the three have started up top, and that resulted in a 1-0 win. With Cameron Lancaster with the goal and Niall McCabe with the assist. And then Kevin Lambert back from international duty, compliments Taylor Davila so well. Their ability to disrupt play and then be those playmakers going forward has been so important for Lou City.
So two star goalkeepers kicking things off for the game as well. Damian Loss and Eric Dick. Loss with 6 clean sheets, Eric Dick with 9 of them, which is tied for second across the USL Championship. There's our head official, Elvis Osmanovic. Once again, we welcome you in here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Mark Schoenster, Eric Dobransky with you here. Lou City, 4 points ahead in the Eastern Conference. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds fighting for a playoff spot here in September. We welcome you in on the show. Should be a good one. These are two sides that almost every year find themselves in the playoffs, and almost every year in the conversation for being contenders in the playoffs. Lou City certainly fall in that conversation, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the final stretch of the season would like to start pushing their name into that conversation as well.
They have navigated the ebbs and flows of their season. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds have an important 7-game stretch coming up, especially when you start hitting the tail end of the season where you don't necessarily see a ton of East opponents. Obviously, you have a bit of a split between what Eastern Conference opponents you can reel in with those direct influences and some of the West matchups that you either have at home or on the road.
Coming off of 3 games on the road, and all 3 of them very far from home for Pittsburgh. Having played at Birmingham, at Tampa, and at Oakland. Here's how both teams can build a win. Building a win is presented by 84 Lumber. Eric, take it away.
Yeah, for Pittsburgh, aggressiveness on the ball. They know that they cannot just sit back and absorb the pressure from Lou City, so you need to be brave, you need to be aggressive in those moments, and Lou City score the first goal. I know it sounds easier said than done, but this is a Pittsburgh side that is 0-7-6 when conceding first, so an all-important first goal.
Cohen corner kick served in by Mertz. Bobbles in the 18. 2 different players tried to get their boot on it. Augie Williams and Danny Griffin.
And I know this results in a handball towards the end, but this is something that Danny Cruz was adamant about when we spoke to him earlier this week, was his team's ability to defend set pieces, corners, free kicks, making sure that not only are you making first contact, but you're clearing your box, you're clearing your lines, you're able to put pressure on that second phase if you're not able to recuperate the ball in that second phase, and that's going to be a pocket of space that they're going to want to identify.
So there's Damian Loss. Missed 3 games. Danny Cruz's side, undeterred by that, had 2 clean sheets in that stretch. Danny Fondes stepping in and doing well, along with, of course, the entire unit defensively. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So, Philip Goodrum, of course, a big name missing for Lou City. Meanwhile, Jackson Walty, it was up in the air if he was going to be ready to go. Not in the 18 for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds this evening, which means that Bradley Sample will continue to hold that spot. They've liked what he's been able to contribute. Bradley Sample starting to build that dynamic with Danny Griffin.
Obviously getting results throughout the matches are important for both these teams, but obviously heading into the playoffs healthy and fully available, something you see teams across the league looking for. You're gonna have to deal with that long throw from Josh Jones.
It's really become a unique trait of this Louisville City team as the year has gone along. They've really made good use of it. It's a good throw, still in the mixer. Augie Williams does well. He could just launch that thing, Eric.
And Bob Lilly had mentioned the importance of getting defenders in front and behind their targets there on those long throws.
So the Riverhounds, 3 road games, 3 long trips on those road games, and as Bob Lilly put it, it was a mixed bag, and the record would indicate that: a win, a loss, and a draw. He felt they had 2 good starts against Tampa and Oakland, where they scored early, and they were too wasteful against Tampa, but against Oakland, they were able to get that second goal, lock it down after capitalizing on a penalty kick in that game, and they just didn't create enough against Birmingham, but of course, that's 2 games ago. I think ultimately they're happy to be back home after some really rigorous treks.
And that result against Oakland at Oakland, so important to close out that 3-game stretch. I mean, it definitely changes the way that your team feels about going into this matchup, and also controls the narrative going into this stretch, because now you go on the road again after this game at Hartford. And that's a team that sits right above you in the playoff.
It's just their 2nd road win of the season in league play, Eric. So you need a little bit of that confidence before, of course, coming into this game. And then also the next time you go on the road, that Hartford team is red hot. But that's looking ahead. Of course, you still got the biggest of challenges here against Lou City. A side that went on the road to Rhode Island, which is not an easy place to play, not an easy team to play. And they got the 1-0 victory. Short-handed, similar to how they are now. A couple of pieces missing, but those players are able to step up and get the job done. Danny Cruz felt they built up well in that game. It could have been better in the final third. Cross kept in play. Jacqueson rolls this one back. Edrak send it to Griffin in the middle, and his pass will glide by everybody.
Well, I think that stretch right there that you talked about, obviously it's a home game against New Mexico United, as we see Bob Lilly going after massive 3 points here at Highmark. This is a team in Lou City that have 2 wins and 4 draws here at Highmark with Bob Lilly as the Pittsburgh manager. But for Lou City, before the 2 games on the road, 0-0 draw at home against New Mexico United, 3-1 win at Indy, where they go down 2 minutes into the game. So the resiliency to get back in, scored right before the break, went in at 1-1, got 2 second-half goals, and then just grinded out a win at Rhode Island. But it just showcases the versatility and the adaptability of this Lou City side. They can just get results no matter what the game is asking of them in a variety of different ways. They can do it defensively. They can be potent in the attack.
Yeah, the theme for this stretch of games, starting with Indy 11, Rhode Island, into Pittsburgh, and then Detroit City next week, Danny Cruz has been telling his guys, it doesn't have to be pretty. You're gonna have to bring your lunch pails for those matchups, and they were able to grind out that result against Rhode Island, on the road against Indy. Now you're here in Pittsburgh. Sometimes you can be sharp and pristine and really play some beautiful footy, and sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty.
Well, and then you look at, you're playing on the road, but you're playing a 4th road game on turf.
Yeah.
Played at Indy on turf, at Rhode Island on turf, obviously it being a newer stadium and beautiful surface. But then you're here at Highmark, and then you go on the road to Detroit City. You see you have that home game September 20th against Las Vegas Lights.
Well, they also have Vegas before Detroit City. I forgot to mention Vegas, which another grinding game. Service bouncing inside and nearly goes on frame. But at the end of the night, it's harmless.
Uncharacteristic miss here on the clearance. See Robbie Mertz getting this delivery, putting it in an area where you're judging the bounce through some traffic.
This Riverhounds team, wow, Billy, it's felt like at stretches this season they've been good offensively, at other stretches they've been good defensively. Now they want to put it all together and go on a real run. Now they did have an unbeaten streak recently, but that included a lot of draws, and Bob Billy was quick to tell us an unbeaten streak with a lot of draws could very quickly turn into a winless streak if the quality dips even just a little bit. So he wants to actually string together 3 points on 3 points on 3 points, especially in the final stretch of the season as this ball's sent in for a cross. Lambert needs to put that on frame.
Yeah, this approach by Lambert, there was no question on who was going to win this aerial duel, but as you mentioned, had to put it on frame and was unable to. Glancing it wide, and Eric Dick did not have to come up with a save, but good quality delivery there from that wide space, and then that late entry from Kevon Lambert.
So the first opening chance, that's a little redundant. The first chance of the game for Lou City. Pittsburgh have been knocking on the door a little bit, but nothing quite at that level. Robbie Mertz will switch the point over to the right-hand side, parried into the middle, then cleared away by Lambert. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, September 27th against Las Vegas Lights for dollar beers presented by Icy Light and live band karaoke. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. All right, Eric, I have a very important question for you. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Ooh. Journey?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
get some Journey in there.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
You?
I don't know. I've thought about this a lot, but I don't know if I've actually come to a conclusion about what the go-to song would be.
You've got a variety. You've got a couple that...
I think it depends on the crowd you go with.
That's
I think that's a big, important factor here. If I go to Pittsburgh, I'm going to sing Country Roads, and that's for very pointed reasons. Jacqueson. Well blocked there by McFadden. They'll continue to go at it. Jacqueson fires, blocked away. Ball knifed over to the right-hand side. McFadden continues to intervene. He's been on a hot streak offensively, and now also, of course, doing his part as a wingback defensively.
And that sequence right there exudes both sides of the ball for Pittsburgh. The ability for Jacqueson to play that vertical threat, stretch Aiden McFadden, force him to play a bit deeper. Obviously, he has to drop along that back line. But also, once Pittsburgh finds themselves centrally, the commitment from Lou City to get back behind the ball, block the shot, and not allow anything dangerous in on goal. That's been the story of their season defensively, the commitment, the buy-in, the collective nature that they exude game in and game out. That was a key for Danny Cruz, his staff, and this organization and this team, was to fine-tune their identity defensively. Last year were an absolute wrecking ball offensively, just scoring goals in bunches, but knew that they had another level defensively, and my goodness, have they found that here in 2025.
And they haven't had to suffer the drop-off offensively either. At this point in the year, they're averaging 2 goals a game. Now, that's not quite the 2.5 goals a game of last season, but they're still right at the top of the league in goals scored.
Yeah, and when you look across any league, in any country, and teams that are consistently dangerous in both boxes and defensively making the big play when it's there to be made, making the block, making the tackle, the save, and then in the attacking box, being clinical in those moments, the awareness, the movement in and around the box, those are successful sides. And there's a lot of data around this game nowadays, metrics that drive a lot of decisions, possession numbers, XG, but just being dangerous in both boxes tend to be the common theme. Now, how you generate those, that's up to your identity and the clarity that you have on and off the ball. It's something that Lou City has just stepped into, and seen them at a 16-1-6 record this season.
Ryan Ownby, ageless, chasing that one down. Donning the captain's armband today. It's his first time starting since November 4th of 2023. Worth reminding, Ownby missed all of last season after going down in the preseason of 2024. Working his way back in 2025 and is getting the start here along with Cameron Lancaster and Niall McCabe. It's a bit of a reunion of sorts, but this isn't just for flashiness. You know Danny Cruz is going to go out there and expect them to put in 110%. And look, you talked about records earlier. Lou City, this is their 12th time coming to Pittsburgh. And we'll hold that thought for a moment because the Riverhounds are pushing forward. Griffin, have to retreat. Davila was with them. Now Mertz. Moves it inside, and Lou City does well. So this is the 12th time Lou City has come to Pittsburgh. They are 6-0-5 at Highmark Stadium. It's the longest streak of away games in a series across regular season and playoffs without a defeat by the visiting club in the USL Championship. And what a crazy place to achieve that record, Eric, because this is by no means an easy place to play.
Yeah, many consider this a fortress to come into. Obviously, the confines of Highmark, the fan base. Obviously, Bob Lilly coach teams are so difficult to break down. You just add all of those elements together, and this is just not a place you come in and pick up points.
And yet, they've done it every single time that they've stepped foot on this pitch. Bob Lilly mentioned that it's hard, and it's been tough for them to win here against Lou City. Now, they've gotten some results on the road against Louisville. I mentioned how tight the schedule was the last time these two teams played each other to a 0-0 draw, the Open Cup, of course. Taking some energy. There's Damian Loss getting his hands active. This Lou City team just has so much depth and quality. Still have the motivation with Charleston right behind them, no matter how good this Lou City has been doing this season. They can't quite seem to shake off those pesky guys in Charleston, and Bob Lilly had a lot of good things to say about the opposition in this one. You know how tough it would be. These two coaches very familiar with what the other has to offer. Mertz carrying it forward. Dish it back. Griffin. And out wide for Luke Biasi. Biasi's service denied. Sample rolled over to the right-hand side for Edrak. Danny Cruz, he put it very simply, when you play the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, you can't turn the ball over in bad spaces or else they're going to hurt you. He called them possibly the best organized team in the league, basically leaving that debate up to them in Sacramento Republic. Super complimentary of Bob Lilly. The USL on the CBS Sports Network continues in September with a League One battle of old versus new. Richmond Kickers, one of the oldest continually operated active soccer clubs in the U.S., takes on newcomers Portland Hearts of Pine on Wednesday, September 17th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network.
And going back to your point about the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and being dangerous in both boxes, this is a team in Pittsburgh that are third in the USL Championship in clean sheets with 9. And then they're third in goals against with 21. Lou City right in front of them with 18 goals against. And then Sacramento Republic, who have been on a tear recently and have really found their rhythm in both boxes as well, scoring goals and not conceding them. But this is a Pittsburgh Riverhounds side that defensively just so difficult to get out of shape and to break down in regards to moving defenders. And then offensively, 23 goals scored, as in towards the bottom of the league. Only Miami, Las Vegas, and Rhode Island have fewer goals. And with all that said, they sit right in the hunt for a top 4 position in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just start, and it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
As Mertz weaves inside, lost his balance. Ref seeing nothing of it. Robbie Mertz, longtime Riverhound, pleading his case. Now, it's hard to get a ref to change his mind, but he's hoping that perhaps on future occasions. Yeah, I don't think I see it there, Eric.
Yeah, I don't either. And obviously, Elvis Osmanovic was in terrific position. Look at he's right there to make that call. I know Robbie Mertz and Pittsburgh are going to be frustrated with the no call, but the official being right where he needed to be. When you have that positioning, you know you're going to get a clear explanation of why the no call. Obviously, Robbie Mertz asking for a bit of an explanation, and still won't necessarily make you feel any better about the call, but
perhaps a little extra understanding, though, and
yep,
gives you a chance to cool your head. As the Riverhounds try to find more goals, you know that they're going to be looking for number 9, Augie Williams, which is the reason why I believe there should be faith that they can uptick on the goals, because Augie Williams is one of the greatest goal scorers that this league has ever had, recently passing the century mark in goal contributions with his 2 goals scored against the Oakland Roots last week. And the guys are starting to figure out where to feed him the ball. Bob Lilly is talking about how they're starting to get acclimated to him just as much as he's getting acclimated to the team. And here's a look at him now. Barnes sends this ball inside, too close to Damian Loss.
good combination play there to release Perrin Barnes in that area. And Perrin Barnes is a player that has come on this season. He's had some terrific performances, has the 1 goal in the year, but his influence as a dual role threat in terms of his ability to get up and down the field and affect both boxes, so important for this side, but just needed a bit more quality there on the service. He released himself, got himself into that area, and had some decent runners, had 3 runners occupying different spaces, just unable to put in an area that forced Damian Loss even farther outside of his box.
Griffin sends it inside for Williams. Williams takes the shot, hits the side netting.
And those are the entries that you want for Augie Williams, because he's isolated. Obviously, there's some help centrally, but he's able to operate in such tight spaces and get shots off from difficult angles. That is what has made him such a prolific goal scorer in this league.
Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DNA, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Damian Loss back for the first time in after 3 matches absent. He'll get checked by the training staff.
Never what you want to see.
So far early in this game, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are doing what Bob Willey wanted them to do, which is they're having a lot of the ball here. They're trying to ask questions now. The quality of those opportunities, they've been varying, but that Augie Williams look right there was pretty positive.
Yeah, and I would go back to the Perrin Barnes opportunity in that wide space, the decision whether he can drive out a back line and force some numbers to get stretched as well. So some of that decision making in those tighter areas can be upgraded. But as you mentioned, I think Bob Lilly and his side have to feel good about some of the brave decisions they're making to get into that final third, to put themselves in positions to create some scoring looks. And on top of that, they've minimized some of the output transitionally from Lou City. Lou City has not had much going forward in terms of their ability to counterattack or hit them quickly, other than that Lambert chance in the box on that delivery. There has not been many opportunities for Lou City to flood the box.
Well, if you're wondering why we keep looking at those players warming up, that's Danny Fondez, the goalkeeper for Lou City. Checking to see if his name was going to be called once again. Started those 3 games in the absence of Damian Loss. 2 clean sheets in that stretch of time. Only had to make 6 saves in those 3 games, so a lot of good work done in front of him. He still earned himself a save of the week, though, in that process, so had to step up when his name was called. Danny Cruz was really happy with how his team defended as a collective during Loss's absence. He said they made it very hard for opponents. Did a good job sticking up for their teammate when Danny stepped in, and Danny's a hard worker, a good pro. They're happy for him to get the opportunity to step in. And although, of course, clean sheets are a team statistic, it is the goalie's the one who gets to hold it. And whenever a goalkeeper gets a clean sheet, it's going to make you feel pretty happy.
Yeah, everything for Lou City, they harp on the collective. Collective attacking, collective defensively. Their identity is built upon what they do together and how they do it. And that's something that, when you see some of the squad rotation that you're naturally going to see from a long season from every team, when that clarity exists, when those roles are met with the recognition and the responsibilities, you can see the consistent run that this team has gone on. Only the 1 defeat, and that 1 defeat being on the road at North Carolina. 6 draws, 3 on the road, 3 at home. One of those draws at home coming against this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side in 0-0.
Aiden McFadden tossed this one into play. Mentioned earlier, he has been red hot as of late. Has scored in 3 of the last 4 matches. And they've been some blazers too. I mean, holy moly. Goal so good, it earned him a spot on USL All Access, a chance to talk to the superstars, Devin Kerr and Mike Watts.
I highly recommend anybody that hasn't listened to USL All Access, jump on, take a listen. Aiden McFadden was fantastic, had terrific guests throughout the year. But to your point, Aiden McFadden has just scored match-defining goals. I mean, in that Indy 11 match, had to have been frustrated for the group to concede so early in the 2nd minute to Indy 11, and then right before the break, he just scores a scorcher from outside the 18. You go into the break, completely different narrative. different momentum, and you scored 2 second-half goals to take that 3-1. Now we see Josh Jones throwing from even deeper.
Another catapulted throw all the way across, ultimately harmless. So Eric Dick will put this back in play. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. I'm sure Select has been the River's choice in the background a couple of times throughout the years. I'd love to figure out, and there's no way to find this out, but just how many soccer balls have sprayed out there and how many of them have actually been retrieved and brought back. That's the second question.
Hosted a number of college finals here as well. This such a coveted venue. Terrific setting.
And it's only going to get better, Eric. Last month they announced the expansion plans that are going to be happening at the stadium. If you haven't seen the renderings, they are wonderful. And they're going to make sure that they preserve the skyline in the background. So
I was about to say, it only enhances what this stadium provides right now, and it's so exciting for the fan base, the organization, for those. As we see Aiden McFadden picking up the yellow.
A reckless challenge from behind. Easy way to get yourself into the books.
And making it known that it was his first challenge, but coming through after getting dispossessed there. See, trying to slow down any sort of counterattack that Pittsburgh might have created. And obviously Aiden McFadden frustrated. And it plays with so much passion, so much hard work in his game, relentless runner. So your concern with a first half yellow card is how many 1v1 duels that he gets himself into because of how hard he plays and the interventions he involves himself with, as we see Perrin Barnes still down after that tackle as well.
Perrin Barnes, 24 years old, from Aurora, Illinois. So, all these fans in attendance, it's been really good for the Riverhounds these past few years. Bob Lilly was telling me he came in for the 2018 season, and you'd have a spike for particular games throughout the season, and now they're basically sold out every single game. He says we get about 5,000 people per game, and so the energy is great for most matches. And look, they've won some big games here. I mean, talk about knocking off some MLS opponents. They've played in some big matches against Lou City and other quality teams in the USL Championship, playoff matches. And that's going to cause businesses in the area to notice your presence, put in some sponsorship money. And look, there may be some places where just existing is enough for a city. In Pittsburgh, that's not the case.
Yep.
They've got the Penguins, they've got the Steelers. The Pirates struggle a little bit more right now, but they got a great pitcher in Pittsburgh now, so they're looking up there in Pittsburgh for baseball. The fact of the matter is the bar is high. You have to be good to be respected in Pittsburgh, and this Riverhounds team has gone to the playoffs year in and year out, and now they're reaping the rewards of that with fan attendance and with a glorious new stadium coming.
And it's not just a flash of success that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds have seen, it's sustained success. It's that threat year in, year out, where they're going to be in the Eastern Conference table, the teams that they bring in, obviously upsetting NYCFC here in the Open Cup in dramatic fashion. And you're going to turn heads when you have that sustainability.
But again, yeah, just go to the Riverhounds website, see those renderings. They're going to make this place look even better than it does now. Also, Eric, you don't have to go to the website either if you're not feeling that eager. Just stay locked in here on the Golazo Network. I think we're going to show it to you at halftime just to make sure you don't miss out on it.
Yeah, they're so good. You have to show them. There's so much going on in the USL Championship. Obviously, stadiums being built. Sacramento breaking ground on their stadium. When you go through the league, and obviously the standard had been set from Lou City and what they have at Lynn Family.
Yeah, it's a palace over there, and as you mentioned, that set the standard pretty high in the USL. McCabe chests down that pass. Lancaster. Davila. Pass is deflected and bounces out towards Brandon Days, whom we haven't mentioned yet. The 16-year-old getting his second start this season on that academy contract. He'll be playing on that right-hand side for Lou City, so he'll be up against a pretty experienced player in Luke Biasi, who's ailing his wrist for a moment there. But you get 3 USL veterans up top, and then you get a 16-year-old playing right behind him. Davila lifts in the cross. Ombi tries to chop it back in play. Toch will track it down. Rolls out for a goal kick.
Well, Ombi wasn't able to get himself set for that layoff by Aiden McFadden. That's what Lou City thrive on, is their relentless pursuit to upgrade opportunities, but upgrade them in areas and in moments that it's needed. Sometimes you see teams that force that upgrade, that almost turn down opportunities because they want something even better too often, and then you lose that creativity.
Toch gets by Mertz before cutting it inside for Davila. He sends it to the left-hand side for McFadden. McFadden with the cross. Nodded away by Vactor. But it's one back. Well, thought to be one back by Lou City. Osmanovic deems it an unfair reclamation of possession. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Well, that was a bit awkward. Some loose touches here from Lou City. So it's a sharpness that you almost are surprised by if you're the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, that you don't even bother trying to check into it.
And then a ball played out, so a sequence that City seemed a little out of sorts, but before this, they have ramped up the pressure, and not only that, they have been better on the ball. They've been sharper. The decision-making has been there and balanced. And you see it with some of the opportunities they've garnered. Now a yellow card to Taylor Davila.
Was just guilty of a foul moments ago, and it seems like he's continuing to be in the bad graces of Elvis Osmanovic. So that's Davila and McFadden, 2 pretty important players on this Lou City team. Now granted, it's a roster full of important players, but 2 guys who have been pretty much regulars in the starting lineup. Griffin out to Mertz. Lifted ball. A little too much lift.
Taylor Davila, 23 games played, 23 games started. So is an anchor, a mainstay, the impactful midfielder he is, and just an absolute playmaking dynamo. I mean, 8 assists, 3 goals. His influence on set pieces, free kicks. Kyle Adams along that back line, same thing. 23 games played, 23 games started.
Some of the rocks in this lineup. There has been some reconfiguring of the starting 11 as we've previously touched on here in this game. They're a bit short-handed. It's been that way in training. Danny Cruz saying, but although we may be short some key contributors, we're strong as a collective. It's not just sum of the parts. You talk about how effective Lou City has been in this game. Pittsburgh has had 67% of the possession. They've conjured up 2 shots. Lou City have conjured up 1. And you would argue the moments that Lou City have found in this game have been more promising than Pittsburgh.
They have, and for Pittsburgh, 33 final third entries, and only 6 of those have equated to touches in the box. And you mentioned the 2 shots.
Eric Dick upended by Cameron Lancaster. And as you can imagine, the center backs for Pittsburgh will not take that lightly.
You see Cameron Lancaster not giving up on the run, and he finds himself running into Pittsburgh goalkeeper Eric Dick. And this has been a front 3 that has yet to kind of click just yet here in this first 45. They have not kind of find that fluidity, that rhythm.
Lambert keeps it in bounds. Sends it back to Davila. Now McFadden. Sends it over to Toch. Now the 16-year-old Brandon Days returns the favor. Toch's cross, claimed by Eric Dick. He won't hurry to distribute. Looks back at his teammate. Just a quick shoe tie, it looks like, or shoe adjustment. Beto Edrak. Looks like he's good to go. Yeah.
The other calling card for Lou City this season, and this was a bit of what they saw last season, leading the league in points from losing positions, their ability to get themselves back in games when going behind. But this is a team that has 14 of their 23 goals away that have come in the second half. So this is a team that can make adjustments. This is a team that can identify and collaborate in the right way and have those discussions and come out and execute at a high level in the next 45. So we see another coming together.
We had a meetup on one end, and we have a second one closer to Damian Loss this time. Though this one won't involve the Louisville goalkeeper. It'll be solely between Bertrand Jacquesson and Kyle Adams. Augie Williams doesn't like the demeanor and the discussion being had by Kyle Adams. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, September 27th against Las Vegas Lights for Hispanic Heritage Night presented by Las Palmas. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. So both of these teams' next home game will be against Las Vegas. Of course, one a little bit sooner than the other. That'll be Louisville's next bout.
Just exchanging heated sequences, and Josh Jones trying to clip this one in as this half begins to come to a close. Whistle
sounds, the throw chucked in by on Josh Jones. Won't count. It'll be a second attempt, though.
Be sure to meet at the KDK Tech in the west end zone. Thank you.
Jones will pick up the clearance. That's a good find. McCabe. That one nodded upward. Toach tried the volley. And it's cleared up the pitch to Williams. Adams, very composed and clean there. As we near that halftime break, we got some good halftime content coming your way on the Golazo Network, so make sure you stay locked in here after that whistle sounds.
What an important defensive intervention from Pittsburgh. Just lining up to take a shot there, and that's what those long throws from Josh Jones present. They immediately get you and the opponent retreating into the 18-yard box because you know you're going to absorb that long throw. So now you have that space for that second action, that second wave of attack to get on the ball. So you're not necessarily always looking for that goal-scoring opportunity directly off the throw, although it has caused a number of opportunities in past matches, but you're looking for getting on that second ball, getting on that cleared header, that opportunity where now you have some space in front of you. It almost came to fruition there.
Yeah, Bob Lilly said it himself. It's not just about the first opportunity, but about the second ball, the third ball, the amount of chances that Lou City collect in a single interaction. We're gonna get 5 more minutes added on here. Certainly had some testy moments and some stoppages here in the first 45.
And to add to your point, Bob Lilly had mentioned they attack everything when it comes to Lou City. I mean, every phase of the game, so it's only fitting that a team like Lou City that has such a scoring output as it is, they would add the ability to have a long throw in there. You just you just add to the threat that you present. Simon Bird, the first assistant for Lou City, instrumental in putting together what this team presents set pieces wise, free kicks. Long throw-ins from Josh Jones. Nervy moment there with that ball across.
Certainly a tight interaction. Lou City will benefit from not allowing something to brew there, as they now could go the other direction. Is once again, it's number 24, ready to loft it in. Still in the mixer. Lancaster got a piece of it, but it wasn't a very vibrant header.
Yeah, after first contact, it seemed like some of the pace had dissipated and it slowed down to the point where I don't know how much contact Cameron Lancaster could have made on it to add the kind of pace that it would take to beat a goalkeeper like Eric Dick.
So we're 2 minutes through, the 5 added on. Certainly ample time. Perrin Barnes knocked over again, this time by Kevon Lambert.
And this is going to be an interesting free kick for Pittsburgh here late in this first half. You get a player the quality of Robbie Mertz over the ball. Danny Cruz had mentioned how important defending set pieces were going to be. Got to stay switched on.
Robbie Mertz, another one of the best chance creators in the league. Service was flipped along by Griffin, nearly connected to Vactor.
And that's the chaos you can create when you make first contact. You see the slightest of touches by Griffin, and if Vactor even just gets a toe on that ball, it's going to be a problem.
How would that work from Lancaster? rushing back to collect that one, and very apt with his touches. You know, when these two teams do battle, the margins are going to be very thin. You're not gonna see a blowout, drag-out race. These two sides keep it tight, and that's been the case so far in this one.
And that's why it'll be fascinating to see what presents itself in the second 45. The adjustments that are made at halftime in a 0-0 game, if we see that finish up this way in the final moments here. But you know, these two teams expect a battle. They expect a tight matchup. They expect the fine margins to come to define what the result becomes. What a run here by Aiden McFadden, and what a touch.
McFadden still going with it. And his service, too easy for Eric Dick.
But when you get into a second half of a match that you know is going to be a grind-out game, where does the freedom start to come into play? Where does that fluidity on the ball, off the ball from each player? Because that's the players' decisions. That's their ability to execute and to highlight their creativity in some of those big moments. Put themselves in positions. Right now, in the first 45, you tend to see teams that want to feel out the game a bit. They want to see where this game is starting to open up, what space is starting to become available, what matchups do you want to start going at. You'll have those discussions at the break.
Elvis Osmanovic sounds his whistle. And we're where we started, 0-0 between these two sides. Both have had opportunities to do what they were looking to do going into this match. But it stays deadlocked at 0-0 between these two powerhouse sides in the USL. With that in mind, we've got some good halftime content coming your way up next on the CBS Sports Golazo Network, so be sure to stay locked in right here. 0-0 your scoreline. We'll see you on the other end of this break.
The build. What is it that drives us to follow our dreams, to build them from scratch, from the heart? For us, it's the same ideals of hard work, craftsmanship, and unity that define our great nation. It begins with trusting in yourself and having a team behind you that believes any dream is possible, and that every project is a vision of what can be, of who you are, and the future that you continue to build. From our family to yours, 84 Lumber, where quality and pride come together, one dream at a time.
At AHN, good heart care starts before you're just not feeling right. Before you say, it'll go away on its own. Before it doesn't. Because before an emergency, there's time to stop heart problems with a simple preventative heart check. At AHN, we see you.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on.
Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Welcome back to halftime here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Let's take a peek at how the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are making a positive impact in their community.
We are a reflection of the community that we serve. We are the constant in a world that's changing. We're the constant in a world that's unpredictable. It's little daily essentials and extras that you might not think about on the surface when you're facing a medical adversity, but they really do make the difference and kind of help change the complexion of your day.
Right there. I'll make sure you guys don't fall. All right, so here's a cookie. Oh, yep, there you go. And then we have red right here.
I did it! Jimmy, I did it!
Just like this. You just squeeze it and it comes out. They're obviously doing great work, you know, working with kids. And, you know, giving back to the community is a big part of being a professional athlete. I think it's a part that's a little bit overlooked at times, but, you know, it's really nice to come here and see the impact that we have on the kids as well, you know. We were once in their shoes and we looked up to people just like us, so it's about time that we do the same and give back.
You want to decorate it?
Yay!
No, you want to decorate?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, here you go. You can squeeze it right here. Really, really, really strong. Really strong.
Oh my goodness, that looks amazing.
Let me help you. They're community heroes just as much as anyone else in the city is, right? They help people who may not be able to stay in a hotel, or maybe it's really inconvenient, or maybe they just want to be closer to their kids and they don't want to shell out however much for a hotel, right? They're allowing parents to be with their kids. They're giving them a place to stay. They're not asking for any payment, but they're really helping them engage with other families as well and be close to the kids. So I think that's a huge thing. And if we can come in here and put a smile on the kids' faces, maybe they're going through a stressful situation, hey, that's a win for me.
So how many families do you guys currently
Great question. So we have, our chapter actually has 2 houses, one here in Pittsburgh and one in Morgantown.
Okay.
Between the 2 houses, we can house up to 101 families every night. So we have 74 apartments here in this building, and then in Morgantown we have 27 guest rooms.
We are here for families, and we is the collective we. It's everybody who steps up to say they want to help, whether that's helping by collecting pool tabs that are turned into cash, whether that's donating toys, whether that's coming and volunteering, whether that's being a corporate partner. There's a lot of we that goes into what we do, and it's a privilege to be here for families. It's an honor to support them in their journey, whatever that looks like. We are so grateful to have the support because we do what we do to serve families with a collective support. So just like a team on the field needs to all work together and everybody do their part, and the fans in the stands and the coaches and the training staff, we are just like that, where everybody plays a role. It's a privilege. So would I think of us as heroes? Not in the traditional sense. I think what we do is really special, and I'm grateful to do it every single day.
We're thinking about you. You know, we got to meet your family, and they're great people. We're here for you. We're here for your family, and wishing you nothing but the best.
Yeah, like Beto said, hope you're doing better. We met your sisters, met your mom. They're great people. So yeah, wishing you nothing but the best.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
We don't stop chanting, we don't stop drumming, yelling and screaming and chanting.
Back from the dead in the 90th minute!
We'll follow them wherever, pretty much. That's just the love that we have for our team.
accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
You're watching halftime content brought to you by 84 Lumber. 0-0 after 45 minutes between the Hounds and Lou City. Let's take a look at what's going on around the league, Eric. First off, our news and notes brought to you by Best Western. The Jägermeister Cup final. It's all lined up. Sac Republic and Hartford Athletic will be playing in October. And on the topic of Hartford Athletic, the rumors have been swirling for a hot minute, and now it's finally come to be. Haji Berry is back with Brendan Burke, and he's there in Hartford.
And the big return to the USL Championship for Haji Berry, player that has 79 goals and 151 USL Championship appearances and 24 assists in that span as well.
Let's take a peek at what's going on in the other games across the league. These are all touching base with what's going on in the Eastern Conference. Oh my word, what is that scoreline in the top left corner? 5-2 San Antonio.
And those are matches and results that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they're not going to look at right now, but those are teams that they're hunting down. Loudon sitting in the top 4 position. That's the position that Pittsburgh Riverhounds want to find themselves coming into the season.
Meanwhile, for Lou City, they really only have to be concerned with what the Charleston Battery are doing at this point in the year, but this is what they're going to be focused on in this upcoming stretch of games.
Yeah, and teams that are going to be playing with that urgency and that desperation. Las Vegas Lights not out of the playoff hunt just yet. In the Western Conference, everything is so tight. Detroit City FC, same thing. They're going to want to catapult themselves into a top 4. So you're going to be playing teams that want to go at you.
Meanwhile, on the Riverhounds side of things, they're going to have more home games than away games in the rest of the season, but 3 more road trips and tough ones at that on the docket.
And I just bring up the Eastern Conference matchups just because when you can directly affect what teams in your conference pick up, that's going to be important. So at Hartford's a huge matchup for them.
Well, we talked about the stadium announcement. Let's take a look at it.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This is an exciting day for the South Shore. It's my honor to introduce the man whose commitment and leadership have made this moment possible. Please welcome the owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Tuffy Schellenberger.
Since 2014, we've invested a significant amount of capital and effort into the stadium and soccer in this region. Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. So without further ado, I'd like to bring the players up here to unveil the renderings of the new stadium. Bottom line economic impact's about $10 million a year back into the city, the state, county. The rules of U.S. soccer, you have to have 15,000 seat capacity. So we figured the time was right and strike while it's hot.
Certainly we're trying to win a USL Championship. So for us to be one of the top teams in U.S. soccer and in the U.S. soccer landscape, we need to grow. We need to keep winning. The next logical step for us is to have a brand new stadium on this site.
You have to win in Pittsburgh. I don't care what you do. We're not going to quit till we win the championship, and then we're not going to quit after that.
The goal! The last kick of the game! Oh, it's incredible, Charles O!
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This is an exciting day for the South Shore. Please welcome the owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Tuffy Schellenberger.
Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. I'd like to bring the players up here to unveil the renderings of the new stadium. And you have to win in Pittsburgh. I don't care what you do. We're not going to quit till we win the championship, and then we're not going to quit after that.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Here are the highlights from the first 45 minutes of action between Pittsburgh and Louisville. Mark Schoenster and Eric Dobransky with you here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Both sides knocking on the door, but nothing quite of the highest quality.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds carrying the bulk of the possession. But that was expected in this matchup, and obviously the style of play that Lou City has, they have made being outpossessed a lethal part of their game. Their just ability to counterattack. Obviously this late entry by Kevon Lambert, the delivery. And then towards the end of the half, this set piece from Robbie Mertz gets the slightest of deflections from Danny Griffin. Almost a touch by Vactor. That would have been difficult for Damian Loss to deal with, but falls to him routinely. And this is a half for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I mentioned the possession, 61-39, but you had mentioned in the first half, it's only equated to 3 shots and 1 on target, where Lou City, the 2 shots, 1 on target. So they're being efficient, but they want to create still more and more in the second half.
So what kind of tweaks will we see tactically? We will get some tweaks personnel-wise, as you can see there in front of your screen. Number 25, Jansen Wilson, is in the match. A couple other changes we'll confirm with you here in a moment as Elvis Osmanovic readying his watch. All right. We have now played 3 halves of soccer between these two sides and no goals scored in any of them. Let's see if this 4th and final half of the regular season will find anything into the back of the net for either side.
For the Riverhounds, checking out number 3, Perrin Barnes. And into the match goes number 8, Junior Etu.
All right, so we've got 4 changes to announce here for you. For Pittsburgh, it'll just be 1 swap. Perrin Barnes, who seemed to pick up a knock in that first half, took some rough challenges. He'll step out, and Junior Etu will sub in. Meanwhile, Danny Cruz will make 3 changes. Amadou Dia, Adrian Perez, and Jansen Wilson all in the match. Cameron Lancaster, Niall McCabe, and Aiden McFadden will all exit. So although that veteran trio up top is now left to just Brian Ownbeat, you can heave a sigh that they weren't able to combine in the first half, but then you get to bring in some quality players in Dia, Perez, and Wilson. And it's like you're even stronger than you were.
Yeah, the depth and the execution of that depth has been so important for Lou City throughout the season. If you feel like you need to make changes at the break and you feel like the game is presenting something different or it just needs something different, you're able to make those changes. And the depth of your roster and the competitiveness of each individual, Lou City has just made it so difficult for opponents. Pittsburgh's going to feel like they have more to give to this match. They controlled the possession in the first 45. They created more chances. But I still think there's a bit of sharpness there. There's a bit of decision-making in the final actions for Pittsburgh Riverhounds to convert and find that opening goal. And I would say the same for Lou City. I think there's the ability to find that outlet when they regain possession is something that was a bit disrupted in that first 45. Their ability to be sustainable in how they were getting forward and win, as we see an early yellow on Robbie Mertz on that challenge on Taylor Davila.
It'll be his 3rd yellow card of the season. Robbie Mertz going into the books, as you mentioned, early on here in the second half. Looks like an elbow to the face of Davila. Both going up for the ball, but you got to be careful about where you put your arms.
Yellow card against Pittsburgh, number 14, Robbie Mertz.
You say Pittsburgh have more to give in this game, and I think that's sort of the takeaway from Pittsburgh in general this season, which is that, yes, right now they're currently in a playoff spot, but you look at the quality of players on this team, you look at the experience of the head coach Bob Lilly, you look at the organization of this team throughout the year, and you wonder, this team could be further up the table at this point in the year.
Absolutely. And that's the box that they're looking to come together come playoff time.
Davila's service dips down, goes over top of Lambert. And a corner kick earned for Lou City. Set pieces, a part of the game both coaches mentioned they needed to be dialed in for. And in a game like this, it could be a corner kick that separates you from getting 3 points, 1 point, or 0 points.
Yeah, when you talk about the fine margins that games present, this being a key portion of them, how do you create chances?
Trying something inventive here. Perez, it slides through. Lou City take the lead. Right on cue, it's a set piece that puts the visitors up top.
And this is a Lou City side that just continue to recreate what they look like on dead ball restarts. So inventive, so creative. Their ability to put themselves in such positive situations, but you don't get that without the quality on the ball and that movement, the space that it created, the runs that push Pittsburgh back into their own 6-yard box. What a clever corner kick and run to perfection. Obviously, you're asking for some of that chaos in front of the box, but you have to create that chaos to benefit from it.
Ownby's cross will curl over everybody and rolls out for a goal kick. Kevon Lambert, who gets on the end of that chaos you mentioned, Eric, his 3rd goal of the season. I don't know if the statisticians will be able to log in an assist in there, but obviously Adrian Perez, all by his lonesome at the top of the 18, just subbed into the match over the halftime break. Certainly orchestrating the service in the middle, whether it's meant to be a pass or a shot, doesn't really matter.
Well, and it's that age-old question, and it's teams attack it differently. When you have 2 players out there for an attacking corner, defending teams, do you send 2 players out there or do you send the 1? Because if you send the 1, it's a 2v1 matchup, so you can create some of the overload that you just saw on that corner, and then you can move some people, because the typical approach is you only send 1 to go defend it because you want the numbers in the box. You want to be able to put bodies behind the ball and win those duels. But then when you have Lou City asking you collectively to drop in deep, then to step up high, then to drop in deep again, I mean, that is a lot of movement that you've got to do collectively, and obviously Pittsburgh paid the price there.
Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, September 27th against Las Vegas Lights for dollar beers presented by Icy Light and live band karaoke. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com.
I think the frustrating part for Pittsburgh on that corner kick is when you play that ball short and you get it right back, you do have a tendency to see the attacking team called offside because of the line stepping up so quickly. And unfortunately for Pittsburgh, they were not able to step quick enough or collectively in that moment to pull Lou City offside, and had to endure that 2nd, 3rd wave of runs, and eventually saw Lambert tuck away the 1st goal of this match. We had mentioned it in the open. Pittsburgh do not have a win conceding first.
Williams doing well there, lays it off to Mertz. Robbie Mertz on the other side. How about that challenge? Sean Toach, the veteran, locking it down. He's also, as of right now, been given the assist on the goal, by the way, Toach. So making it happen in both penalty areas.
This is for 6s now. In the out.
That would put him in a category where he has a goal in that match against Indy 11, an assist in the last matchup, that 1-0 at Rhode Island, and now an assist tonight. So he's on a roll with points, obviously influencing results, but that spell right there from Pittsburgh is what they want. They want to be able to get Augie Williams isolated up there high, and then the ability of Robbie Mertz to then follow up the run and make himself available, but just met by high quality defending.
I mean, this is a picture-perfect tackle coming here, but Augie Williams fights with Josh Jones. His part of the deal done well.
Yeah, that commitment to go to ground, high quality decision making, and you know, not just Lou City, you know teams across the league, you are gonna have to be in 1v1 duels. That's just a part of the game. You're gonna see yourself in situations where you've gotta make big plays in your defensive box, where you are isolated 1v1, and it's about making them. Obviously the play from Pittsburgh to release and get that space was class, but the defensive recognition there, just tremendous.
So here comes the long throw from Josh Jones. First look here in the second half. Play it back to Adams. So much quality on this Lou City team. Players don't always get the start, get the chance to step in and make an impact. And you know you always have, if you're a program that's winning, and I mean winning like Lou City is doing, that it's not just about the guys who get out there and play every single game, but also the players that are testing those regular performers in training each day. And Danny Cruz, the man in charge for Lou City, he mentioned those training sessions, that's the most important piece. He continued to elaborate that how you train dictates how you play. And no player is going to give the guarantee that they're going to start. It's how you show up during the week in training. And he mentioned that with how sharp these guys all are in training, anytime a player has been given the chance to step up, they have. We've talked about Fondes tipping in as a goalkeeper. We talked about some of these veterans up at the top who got to start in this game, have all had their moment to contribute in the starting lineup this season. And he was very adamant on the idea that you could stay game fit without playing minutes.
I was about to say, that is what kind of highlights itself with the collective amongst Lou City, is that thought of so many that you can't be match fit, or even, not even just the fitness levels, but the decision-making levels, those game moments that you just don't get in training to be sharp in, to execute at a high level.
Pittsburgh looking for a retort. Jacqueson. His shot deflected. Etu. He'll drive it himself. Junior Etu. Whipping ball, no one to receive it. Biasi collects it on the other end.
Yeah, that ball was begging for a far post runner. Just did not get it. It had a near post, it had a central runner. That space that became available just did not have a Pittsburgh Riverhound occupying it.
Griffin tap this one back as the Riverhounds look to conjure something from the throw-in. Mertz has it in the left channel. And now it'll be a corner. We got a Cohen corner kick for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They just announced another sold-out crowd, over 5,000 fans. I think the official number was 5,152. And that's why they're expanding the stadium, because they need more seats. More of these Yinzers need to get to the game. Worth noting the 15,000 seat capacity that they're going to have with the plans will make them eligible for the USL First Division. Of course, once that gets started, we'll see which teams make that jump. You imagine Pittsburgh are obviously equipping themselves to be one of those sides. Mertz back over to Edrak. He fires straight on goal. Damian Loss will let it fall into his chest.
Yeah, you just wanted to provide Damian Loss a different look. If you're Bradley Sample, you have all the traffic in front of Damian Loss. You're just unable to put it in a position where he's got to come up with a big save, putting it right on the goalkeeper.
Jones rising up for that one, goes to ground, and so will the next Pittsburgh player who rises for the ball. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 in the Sirius XM app. Etu. Couldn't quite get that the way he wanted to, but still in danger. Volleyed attempt, skips towards goal. Robbie Mertz connecting with it.
And just as we would expect from two Eastern Conference teams that have the sustained success and what they've been in this league throughout the years, they're exchanging punches. I mean, Lou City come out, have a terrific corner kick, open up the scoring, but we've seen that counter punch now from Pittsburgh. They've started to open up, add that bravery that we did see in the first 45, but now adding some quality looks to complement that bravery.
So 60 minutes into this one, 30 to go. A goal scored by Kevon Lambert off a well-crafted corner kick early in the second half has given Lou City the lead, trying to make it 12 games unbeaten at Highmark Stadium. Lofted throw goes up, pawed over the top by Eric Dick. And it was a corner kick that gave Lou City the lead. This will be the next corner kick since then, for Lou City, that is.
Pressure Lou City put opponents under has got to be frustrating. You have the corners, you have the run and play, you have the pressure defensively, now you have the long throws. Let's see what they conjure up here on this corner.
Not a bad looking ball, falls through. Perez, it was always rising. Adrian Perez, it was so instrumental in that first goal. Had a chance to notch one himself.
I was going to say, has come in the second half and has seen some heavy involvement already in both on corner kicks as well. That just goes back to the clarity that this team plays with. When your number is called, it's time for you to step in, execute at a high level, and perform.
Josh Jones getting knocking over. We'll get a talking to from Elvis Osmanovic. It's a big man, Josh Jones, 6'5". Pittsburgh have been aggressive in this game. Bob Lilly talking about how they can't just park and absorb, because eventually Louisville City will find a way to break through, and they have off a corner kick. So they've got to continue to attack, and they've got to convert at some point in time. This is an opportunity to do so. Mertz whips this ball in, falls across. Well done by Josh Jones. Pops it away from the mouth of goal.
And a quality delivery from Robbie Mertz, and the recognition by the Pittsburgh Riverhound player to put this back across the face of goal. But again, just another ball from Pittsburgh that is begging for a far post runner. There's just too many players from Pittsburgh occupying the same spaces in those moments. 2 chances in this second half that wanted somebody far post.
Cohen corner kick from the right flag. Assistant steps in and makes sure Robbie Mertz doesn't take it before our head official is ready. Mertz has had some chances in this game. Can he provide one for a teammate? Griffin nods it back out there. Mertz trying to shimmy himself into some space. Good catch from Damian Loss. Missed 3 games. Looking pretty good there. And there is a Pittsburgh player down, of course, but I believe this was a situation where both players are contending for the ball, and sometimes there's some carnage.
Yeah, Damian Loss having to fight through the traffic there, and it looks like Eto Idrach takes the front end of the follow through on the landing from Damian Loss. You see him locate the ball, meet it at its highest point, and stumbling forward.
I know some teams playing tomorrow that could use him at tight end. There's Beto Idrach on the ground, man from Orlando, Florida. Weren't sure if he was going to play today after picking up a knock. He was able to muscle through whatever issues he had coming into this game. Now he's picking up some damage on the field.
He's had some huge performances for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Obviously has been called into international duty throughout the year, as well as missed some matches here in the USL Championship, but he's had a tremendous season.
So it's 1-0 right now for Lou City, a team that has lost just 1 game this season. And you would think if you're a team at the top of the table or a team that's very comfortably in the playoffs here at the end of the season, so you could put Charleston in this conversation as well. There was a bit of an imbalance of desperation between you and your opponents for the rest of this regular season. And when I asked Danny Cruz, does he expect more intensity from these games going forward? And his answer was one that really makes sense. And it's that, look, we're Lou City. We get the best from everybody every single week of the season because teams, they perk up for the chance to knock us off. Because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And lo and behold, Lou City, as of this season up to this point, are the best.
Yeah, you're going to get everybody's best shot. I mean, what this team brings out of opponents, everybody sees the schedule and looks at when you face off against Lou City.
And he mentioned it. I mean, they've only lost 1 game this year. But Danny Cruz was emphatic on the fact that there hasn't been a single game this season where after the final whistle blew, his conclusion was, oh, well, that was easy. Every single team is giving them a good crack. They've just happened to be on the better end of it an overwhelming majority of the time. There's still time left in this one, and these Riverhounds fans are hoping that they can be the team to take a bite out of this Lou City side. North Carolina FC, the only team to best Lou City in regular season play. We want to just go back across all competitions. We'll hold that thought for just a moment. Pittsburgh working their way forward, back heel through, the shot cut up. And bounces out for a corner kick. There is a player for Lou City down.
Clever there from Pittsburgh as they built up to that moment, but they're just missing some of the recycled movement inside the box. They just were not able to move Lou City defenders. They were able to stay there, keep their ground, and block that shot. You've got to put something in and around Damian Loss, and you've got to move these defenders, Kyle Adams, Josh Jones, Sean Toach. You've got to make them make decisions that open up a possible gap, a shooting lane.
So 2 changes for Bob Lilly. Jacquesin is out and Luke Biasi is out. In comes Chase Boone. So a forward for a forward. And then Charles Aw will step in for Biasi. Charles Aw had himself a great game against Tampa. And he'll be looking to make an impact. He was the one change in the lineup from the previous game into this one. All stepping out for Jacquesin. A rookie this year from Winter Park, Florida, which is just outside of Orlando as well. So that's a second mention of the City Beautiful here on this broadcast.
Product of Stetson University. Terrific career there, and he's made an instant impact in his first year as a pro.
And now a Cohen corner kick from the left flag. Mertz. Well, it was a bit difficult for Loss to handle. Did he get a piece of it? He did. So they'll just switch ends and try again. You can see Robbie Mertz making the run along the goal line. It's played short. Mertz plays it back. Up to the top for Charles Aw. Had to chase his touch for a moment. Service is blocked. It'll be a deep throw-in. Don't think there are any long throw specialists on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They'll do their best, though. This is Beto Edrak. Griffin has to juggle it a little bit. Ball kept in bounds. Still Griffin. Ball will bounce out of play. We'll get a substitution. The 16-year-old Brandon Days will see his night come to an end. A good 70 minutes of play, though. That's more than he had played all season long up to this point, combined. So, great shift for the youngster. And in will be Sam Gleedle. His 15th appearance of the season. Gleedle, 29 years old, so a couple more years under his belt than Days.
Yeah, positive performance by Brandon Days. Asked to go deeper than he's gone all season. Stepped up to the task, and I know he wasn't necessarily influential on the ball, but off the ball, the duels that he won, the interventions that he put himself and involved himself in really helped this match along, and where Lou City stand right now. Bright future for that young player.
Etu slides it ahead for Williams. And Augie Williams rips that one off of Taylor Davila. Another Cohen corner kick.
And Pittsburgh has to feel good about the corners that they're earning. They're earning them in succession, which means you can just continue to ramp up the pressure.
But can they break through? It was a corner kick that gave Lou City the lead. Damian Loss falls on top of it. No harm for the goalkeeper to handle. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
Talk about the extended minutes of Brandon Days. Brian Ownby has had quite a stretch here. player that they have built into the season. Good turnover here.
Cleared away by Vactor.
And that goes back to that match fitness point that you were making early on in this first 45, in the second 45. Brian Ownby has not started a match this season until tonight. Has built in minutes throughout the year, with the most being 48 minutes against Indy 11, which was a recent matchup. Now he's gone 74 minutes, and clearly plans are to take him much farther.
Now you wouldn't be able to notice.
Yeah.
Vactor with the lifted cross, caught by Loss.
The house always wins in Vegas, but here in Pittsburgh, you win with dollar beers. Plus, live music post-game, and we have a special...
Damian Loss, you go ahead.
That's the other element that we have in this matchup is two top-class goalkeepers. I mean, Eric Dick for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Damian Loss. I mean, it's going to take special moments to beat both these teams. We talk about how difficult they are to break down, but then once you break them down, you still have to beat the goalkeeper, and that is a tall task. And that's what Lou City taking advantage of their corner kick and causing that havoc, putting the numbers in front of Eric Dick, that able to tuck a ball away after clever runs, clever passage of play.
That's something that this Lou City team missed with Loss being out. And that's, of course, an acknowledgement that Danny Fondes did well in his stead. But no one is quite as good as Damian Loss this year as far as stopping high XG chances. Now, Danny Cruz is not a guy who lives and breathes numbers and analytics, but that says something. And that means he's denying some opportunities that should be goals. $15 more minutes to go. A goal scored in the 50th minute off of a corner kick. Well conjured. And Kevon Lambert put it away. Back from international duty with Jamaica. Jamaica trying to qualify for the World Cup next year. Mertz. So switch over to the right-hand side. Edrock laying it out wide. All sends in the cross. Caught by Loss once again. Too many of these services too close to the mouth of goal.
Yeah, and as soon as you see Damian Loss going to attack the ball, typically you want to surround the goalkeeper, hoping that they spill something, they leave a rebound. Going back to it, these are two goalkeepers that do not give second chances.
The Hounds hit the road next week to take on Hartford Athletic. That's a week from tonight, September 20th.
So another change here for Lou City after giving accolades to Brian Ownby for his shift. It will come to a conclusion 77 minutes into the game. Ray Serrano, just 23 years old, will step on. A more regular starter, Ray Serrano, stepping into the game. I'll look to close this one out, whether it be if they're hunkering down on this 1-0 lead, or, of course, Ray Serrano will be itching to expand that lead. Has 6 goals and 4 assists this year in league play. Definitely a man of danger. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings.
With those 6 goals from Ray Serrano, 28 chances created, only second to Taylor Davila, who has 44 on the team.
And Davila's up with the best of them in the chances created category in the league, as you would expect. Davilo and Mertz, two of the best that the league has to offer in that category, both on the pitch here this evening. All. Well, actually, that was Boone trying to dish it out to All on the right-hand side. Both sporting the long hair.
Yeah, you can see those runners, Robbie Mertz and Augie Williams, wanting that ball to come across to that left side. And still plenty of time for Pittsburgh to find the equalizer. You don't need quantity, you just need to find that one clean look.
This one takes a bounce and then effectively cleared away. No nonsense. Etu rolls it up to Williams. And some tugging between the two of them. It'll be Williams who's guilty of it.
Tonight's post-match meal partner is Dianoia's Eatery. Voted the best Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh by the Pittsburgh City Paper and the Pittsburgh Magazine. Dianoia's Eatery is a family-owned and operated Italian restaurant that specializes in homemade pasta, pastries, bread, sandwiches, and more. Visit Dianoia's Eatery at 26th Street in Penn Ave or on dianoiaseatery.com.
Whistle sounds from Elvis Osmanovic. 10 more minutes to go in this one. Lou City, worth reminding, here at Highmark Stadium, 6-0-5. They've never lost, which is already a USL Championship record as far as a visitor record is concerned. No one's gone 11 games unbeaten at another venue before. Right now, they're in a good spot to make it 12 games unbeaten, even if Pittsburgh find one. Boone pops it up, and Damian Loss continues to show his ability to rise up and claim the ball in the air. That's mainly what he's had to do today, is just get it before it becomes a problem. You mentioned in the open, it's preventing the opportunities from ever even occurring, the saves you don't need to make.
Yeah, and that comes with being proactive, progressive with your communication, the way that you want to structure your team and get your team set up as an opponent finds themselves working themselves into the attacking third and the attacking half.
I mean, and that's kudos, of course, to Damian Loss, his organization. Let's take a peek at what transpired here. Just a bad fall. Von Lambert going down to the ground. But that's a testament not only to Damian Loss's organization, it's not just a testament to what Danny Cruz and his coaching staff have done, but first and foremost, you got to look at those center backs who have been fantastic this season. Kyle Adams, Josh Jones, Sean Toach, excuse me. And then Ordonez can also get thrown into that conversation as well when he's had the ability and the health to step up and play this season.
Yeah, and that group being that steady force from match to match. And I know for Lou City, it's always the collective, and trust me, the results have spoken that way. It is a collective group that is very positive with the way that they are able to attack challenges that matches present. That back three, the center backs, I mean, Danny Cruz had mentioned it in that Rhode Island match. He thought the center backs for both teams were terrific.
Hopeful ball over top, falls to Williams. Augie Williams back across. Couldn't reach Boone. And a push on the back from Adrian Perez. will give the ball to Pittsburgh. And it looks like 2 more changes are readying themselves. So a big body in Brigham Larson subbing in for Bradley Sample. And on top of that, Robbie Mertz steps out. Jason Borgi will step in. You know you want to get Larson in for this, though. 6'4", another set-piece target. The Norwegian man, his 11th appearance of the season. And here comes the ball from All. Falls through. Not a good connection. Edrak was there.
Looked as though that he got caught between 2 decisions, whether you want to just guide this across the face of goal or you want to go ahead and attack it and put it on Damian Loss. Unfortunately, he does neither.
Rough collision there. Free kick for Pittsburgh. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, September 27th against Las Vegas Lights for Hispanic Heritage Night presented by Las Palmas. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com.
If Lou City can hold on to this score line, this would be their 9th clean sheet of the season, which would put them level with Pittsburgh Riverhounds in that category. Would also be their 2nd clean sheet in consecutive games, both being on the road.
It would be 3 in their last 4. A team that's been so tough to break down. It seems like they're only locking in further and further, which if you're any other team in the league, you're shaking your head and going, oh man, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, Danny Cruz made it very clear to open the season that their priority in the offseason, in preseason, was to fine-tune this group defensively, and they have gotten the buy-in. They have been collective about how they go about it, and they won a lot of ball in behind.
Going through is Perez. Adrian Perez may have just iced the game. It's 2 for Lou City. Continuing to make Highmark Stadium Louisville North.
And catching the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in a moment where they are just switched off. Lambert gets this little poke in, and then the awareness and the vision to know where Perez is and what kind of ball was needed. Such a clever ball played in from Wilson. And sometimes these are the more difficult finishes when you have all that time and all that space to make a decision. Perez calm and composed and clinical.
His 2nd goal of the season. He also had 2 in Jägermeister Cup play, so a player who came into this match and his presence was very quickly felt. And now he has a goal to show for it. And it's just been textbook Lou City tonight.
Well, and we mentioned it earlier, his involvement in 2 of those early corners, obviously one of them leading to the goal. I know Toch has gotten the assist on the first goal, the opening goal with Lambert. But Perez, the one getting on the ball in that open space at the top of the box. So his involvement since coming on at the break has been heavy, and it's paid dividends for Lou City and Danny Cruz.
Two 2-0 on the road. Louisville City about ready to make it 7 wins here at Highmark Stadium, which is the most wins they have at any venue that's not the Slugger Stadium or Lynn Family Stadium. Louisville Slugger Field, Lynn Family Stadium, the only 2 places they've won more games. Long ball over the top. Augie Williams goes down a bit too easily, according to our head official.
And if Lou City hold on for all 3 points in this matchup, hold that thought as Augie Williams is thriving in pain. This is not good at all.
A player they want to get red hot by the time the season comes to a close. He's starting to find form. Augie Williams, after scoring in the opening game this season, went 11 league matches scoreless. And in the last 11 matches has scored 6 goals. And Bob Willie said he'd be the first to tell you that he could have 4 or 5 more goals this season with the chances he's created, or the chances that he's had. And they need him if they're going to make this postseason push that they're searching to have, not only for this final slate of regular season games, but if they make the playoffs the way they intend to, they're going to need that man.
It's good to see him back up and having a conversation with the center official about that coming together with Josh Jones, and see Bob Lilly having a discussion with the 4th official.
So you see 6 minutes have been tacked on here. Augie Williams waved back onto the pitch. Looks to be running without any sort of limp. Ball headed along, and Damian Loss with a dive gets onto it, looking to preserve that 7th clean sheet.
And just circling back really quick about what I was saying about Lou City and their ability, if they can close out this game and pick up 3 points, their immediate attention is going to go to the Charleston Battery hosting Oakland Roots, who are down 3-2 to the Oakland Roots. Peter Wilson with 2 goals in a span of 3 minutes. Goals in the 52nd and then another goal in the 55th. So Charleston Battery were up 2-1, now find themselves down 3-2. Still plenty of time left in that match, over 30 minutes left.
There's an example of that desperation mode. Oakland Roots, they need results. And that's the next question. Then I was going to ask it regardless of hearing that situation in Charleston, which is that Lou City, coming into this weekend, had a 4-point lead over the Charleston Battery for that player shield, for that home field advantage, which has been such an interesting race to follow all season long. And you looked at this game at Pittsburgh as one of the toughest tests they had left. Ball goes up in the air. Augie Williams tried to feed it back in the center. The Hounds starting to go into lop the ball down the field mode. Toch will boot that away. But if you couple what's left of the slate for Lou City with a loss for Charleston Battery here, now granted there's still 30 minutes left in that game, and if there's anything Charleston Battery know how to do, it's score goals. Even if they come back and get all 3 points in that game, the margin for error for Charleston is getting slimmer and slimmer because Lou City fail to err. They just continue to pick up 3 points, even on this road stretch against some tough teams that it'd be so easy to drop some points and only draw these matches. And they continue to go on the road and get results.
Well, and Charleston looking at 3 straight games against West Coast opponents, and we talk about the desperation. I mean, the West, it's the Wild West in that conference. I mean, you are playing El Paso, Orange County, and Colorado Springs switchbacks who have battled themselves back in the playoff picture after being bottom of the table probably just over a month ago. What a terrific job James Chambers and his side have done to get themselves back in the conversation.
Ball deflects out for a corner kick with just 2 minutes to go. That corner kick in the 50th minute was what initially gave Lou City 3 points in this one. Then they got some icing on the cake with Adrian Perez. Ball pops through Griffin. Spins it up the pitch. Maybe one more chance brewing for the Riverhounds. Williams sends it in. Not a bad look. Lunging for the ball was Brigham Larson. It'll be a Cohen corner kick from the right corner flag. Charles All with the service. Bounces down. Williams takes a shot. A 180 spin to fire it on goal. And you can just see the emotions from Augie Williams. It's been a frustrating night.
This glancing header finds the feet of Augie Williams, and obviously you can see the clear frustration from not just that moment, but really just encapsulates what this night has been for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side. Had some promising moments, but just were not able to find that final action, that final decision that would open up and create that scoring chance. Had a number of good services that weren't met by far post runners. Had some chances on goal that didn't necessarily put Damian Loss into a difficult save, but it is also very difficult to find a quality shot when you're fighting through so many Lou City bodies and defenders that get themselves behind the ball and in the 18-yard box.
Shut that side!
Back Dirk. The 18 it goes, nodded right back out to him. We've now more than gone over the 6 minutes added on. Osmanovic checks his watch, and that's that. Their quality persists. Lou City continue to make Pittsburgh a second home, winning 2-0 over the Riverhounds.
This just continues to be a team that goes into the halftime break, makes the adjustments necessary, but also accompanies those adjustments with high-level execution. Their 2 goals in the second half now put their tally at 26 total second half goals on the season. Terrific performance from Lou City in that second 45.
For Pittsburgh Riverhounds, tonight's man of the match is presented by Modelo. Robbie Mertz created some moments, had some moments himself, just wasn't enough to put the pieces together. Still a very involved night for him.
Yes, heavy involvement from Robbie Mertz, and had some of those quality wide deliveries that I mentioned just a moment ago that just didn't have that far post runner involved. But this is a Pittsburgh Riverhounds team that just continues to evolve in the final third.
So with that in mind, 2-0 your final score. The action on the pitch has concluded, but we still have post-game coverage coming up next on the Golazo Network. So we'll step aside briefly. When we come back, we'll wrap this one all up for you.
That old deck? Yeah, it's begging for a makeover. At Quaker State Construction, we don't just build decks, we build leisure time, and we've been doing it for over 60 years. With an extreme deck makeover, we'll take your tired outdoor space and make it look better than new. And yes, we'll help you save money. From design to permits, materials to master craftsmanship, we handle everything. So what are you waiting for? Book your deck makeover with Quaker State Construction today and get ready to love your outdoors again.
Lou City unbeaten in 12 games at Highmark Stadium. 2-0 your final score on this occasion. They best the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Mark Schoenster, Eric Dobransky with you here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Let's see how this game unfurled, Eric. And it's all going to be in the second half. It was a bit of a stalemate in the first, but early on here in the second 45, a well-crafted corner kick.
The emphasis on set pieces and executing. Adrian Perez finds himself in a load of space on top of the box. Obviously, this ball from Taylor Davila finds him, and then come on, Lambert. Just sitting in that space, waiting for that ball to come back out, and it tucks it away.
Here's tonight's smooth save of the game presented by Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Yeah, Eric Dick having to command that box, having to endure a lot of Josh Jones long throw-ins, and then this turnover here at midfield, poked by Lambert, the play in from Wilson, and then calm, cool, collected. Adrian Perez tucks that one away to seal the win, pick up the massive 3 points here at Highmark, and take their unbeaten run here in Pittsburgh to 12 games.
So for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, their next game will be on the road against Hartford Athletic. Meanwhile, Danny Cruz and company will go to Vegas. Not go to Vegas, they'll go home to host Vegas. And then look to keep the good times rolling. And it's been a lot of good times for this Lou City side. They just continue to be so impressive. They're at the top of the Eastern Conference table. And look, if you enjoyed watching the Eastern Table Toppers, you might want to stay locked in here on the Golazo Network, because Tulsa at the top of the Western Conference are going to be picking it up here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network against New Mexico United right after this. So be sure to tune in to that. That's where this show will end. Lou City gliding to victory. 2-0 your final score here. For our entire broadcasting crew, for Eric Dobransky, I'm Mark Schoenster. We'll see you next time. Your final score 2-0. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the weekend of next week, I guess.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.